Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for tuning in. You know, just the other day we hosted a free event called Sync Behind the Scenes, and the response has been overwhelming. So today, I'm actually going to show you the licensing process that we covered in this workshop. Now, this was unlike any public event that we've ever hosted before. What made this so unique is that Michael and I were currently producing a feature film called Ethan Bloom. Now, I imagine that some of you watching this, you have no idea how the licensing process works, and that's okay. This video is going to be really eye-opening for you. And at the very end, I'm going to reveal something to those of you that are already familiar even, that you probably haven't considered when licensing your music. Now, what I'm about to show you is the exact process that's existed for the past 20 plus years, as long as I've been licensing music for films and TV shows and ads. And you're gonna realize that sync is an entirely different business than the traditional music business. But before we get into it, I do think it's important for you to have some context in what happens before the music gets licensed. So this all began last fall when I reconnected with my good friend Herschel Faber about music supervising a new film he was directing, Ethan Bloom. Herschel and I, we'd worked previously together on some projects, and he mentioned in passing they were looking for someone to help him produce this film. This piqued my interest, so I asked him to send me the script. I read it, I laughed, I cried, and I sent it to Michael so he could read it, and he had a similar reaction. We discussed it, and we decided to produce the film. Then in January of this year, we were on a Zoom call when Herschel called us up with the good news that the film was fully funded. Check it out. I'm just excited. I think it's going to be totally next level, like you were saying.
Yeah.
I think it's unlike anything we've done before, so I'm excited for all the attendees. And hold on a sec, Herschel's calling.
Oh.
Herschel, what's going on?
Jody, Michael, how you guys doing?
Hey,
man.
What's going on, man?
Dude, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I got some awesome news for you guys.
We love good news. What's up?
We are fully funded. We are making Ethan Bloom in the spring.
Yes, that's
Nice.
amazing.
Well, congratulations. That's a fantastic way to start the year.
Well, we're so excited to work with you too.
Yeah, man, that's going to be awesome. So what is the next step then?
The next step is we're going to be heading into heading into casting pretty soon. January, we'll start making offers to talent. Yeah, man. All I've been doing is thinking about music for this movie. I'm like completely obsessed with a number of different songs, so we'll have to talk about that in a little while.
Oh, fun. That's the fun part for us. We love it. And when do you think shooting's planned for? Still planned for May?
We're looking at end of April, beginning of May. Of course, that's dependent on actor availability, but I feel like we're going to be able to finesse it and make it work.
It'll be here before we know it. Well, thank you again for having us on board. We're excited, and thanks for sharing the good news with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. I'm excited.
Awesome. We are too, buddy.
Take it easy.
All right, take care, guys. I'll
Bye.
see you. Bye.
Pretty cool, right? Well, after the budget was locked in, the film was cast, the dates were set, the locations were secured, the crew was hired, and of course, it was time to begin filming.
And action. Hey, what's up? I'm here on the set of Ethan Bloom, and today we're shooting several scenes that take place at a high school. Now, you can't really tell because we're in Florida, it feels like the jungle, but this is an actual high school that we're filming at. And there's so much more that goes into production than just the crew and cast that are hard at work behind me. We have to secure permits to make sure that we're allowed to shoot here. We have to rent the location. We have to bring in catering to make sure that the talent and the crew are well fed so they can perform to the best of their abilities. We have to hire security to make sure that everyone who's on site is allowed to be here. There's wardrobe, there's makeup, there's sound, there's so much more beyond the 50 or 70 plus people that are here behind me. And they're here because they all share the love of storytelling. And that's what filmmaking is about. If you take it down to its foundation, it's about storytelling. And that's why music and picture go so well together. Stories create bonds and connections between humans. And it's why we're all affected by soundtracks of the past and the music that they use. I'm sure everybody who's watching this, all of you can think of a scene where you were really impacted because the music fit perfectly to the picture. And part of my job as a music supervisor is to help find those songs and find those special moments to help make that happen by collaborating with the composer and the director and the writer and independent musicians like you to bring that story to life.
So we're part of the sound department, and And what we're doing right now is we're just checking the microphones, coming back for lunch. We have everyone wired here. We're also doing boom. And then we have this microphone, which is a binaural microphone to pick up some of the ambience of the kids talking in the classroom.
An ear mold with 2 ears on it?
Yep. So each ear has a microphone inside of it. Yeah.
There are so many opportunities that arise for independent musicians while filming is happening. And I've been very fortunate to get to be on set for this process to see how that reveals itself, right? So, for instance, there was a scene that took place in a bedroom where one character, Camille, is listening to some music that's kind of out there. And in the script, it was marked as, so this coming from the woman listening to yacht rock, that was the line. And when I heard that, I thought, okay, well, what if we can't get a yacht rock song? Let's get some coverage for that. So what we did just now today is we went into the room with the sound guys and we tracked ADR. ADR is where we can track the dialogue to replace what was originally recorded. We get a shot of the actor from behind and you hear the new dialogue. So what we did is we said, this coming from the woman playing whatever you call this music. And we did one where it goes, this coming from a woman playing sappy love songs. So now I'm more open with my palette and my search. And I'm not limited to just yacht rock. In case we find something better than yacht rock, right? If we find yacht rock, great. But if we find something better, now we're able to use it. And that was just one example of an opportunity that has now opened up for independent musicians like you to get your song into this film. Just shot the first dance scene at the dance party. At first, I had a temp track in, but what I realized was happening is that all these kids over there, they were not into it because they didn't know it, so they weren't really dancing. So I switched to LMFAO Party Rock Anthem because you got to get them dancing. That was first and foremost. Not using the temp track that was pre-cleared. I just told the director, do not get attached to this track. So that's it. Cool. So now you have some insight into what goes on in production, right? So production's happening there, and then we move to post-production. This is where the licensing process happens. And it starts with a spotting session. All right, so this is the spotting session, and typically, it's an editor controlling the DAW or whatever the editing program is called. I'm so used to saying DAW for digital audio workstation like Logic or GarageBand. But as you can see, it's very similar. There's a timeline, and there's video, and there's audio, and you're syncing it up. So usually it's Final Cut or Avid or something like that. And then we're all sitting in a room, and we're working on the spotting session together. So there's all these songs temped in place here. And I'm not going to actually, unfortunately, I'm not able to play all of these songs for you because of YouTube's strict content ID policy about not playing songs you have licensed the rights for your channel for. We don't have the rights for these songs to play them on here, so we're just not going to play them. However, this is the process. You can see this is a scene. You can hear the scene. You can hear like the party noise. Now this is a very, very rough cut of the scene. This is an assembly edit. It's very rough. It's definitely not something that is final, but I'm going to scrub through it. You can see one of the characters played by Hank Greenspan, Ethan Bloom, and then they're dancing at a party. Right, they're having the time of their life. They're dancing, right? Let me make sure this is muted. Then we actually transition to this part while they're having fun. Then it transitions to inside Ethan's mind. He sees this girl that he's just having the best time with, and they actually just had a tender moment somewhere else. They're back at the party. They're high on life, and it's kind of slow motion in Ethan's head. So the challenge here is to spot the song that plays here while they're having fun, and then the transition to the song that plays here when it goes inside of Ethan's head. So we're spotting it, we're looking at it and deciding, well, what songs work, what songs don't. Let's drop these different songs in, and I've got this song Alive in there, and Get Up and Groove by Level 77, and Oh, I Like That Music, Vroom, and I Feel So Alive. And the one that ultimately the director liked, based on our spotting session the other day, is I Feel So Alive. So that's the spotting session part of the process. So now the music supervisor and the director, they've conducted a spotting session. The director tells the music supervisor, that's the song I like. In this case, it was I Feel So Alive. A music search ensues. I need to get more ideas in the vein of that song so I can present more ideas to the director. I reach out to trusted sources, professionals that I trust, to gather ideas and send their favorites along to the director. He chooses his favorite, in which case it might be this song that you just saw on the screen there, I Feel So Alive. He chooses the favorite, right? Then I secure the rights using a quote request. I send a quote request to the individual whose song that belongs to. This is a professional. They understand how to read that quote request. They know what to quote because they understand market rates and they understand the rights that are being requested. And they fill out the quote request. They send in their quote as an approval. We call that an approval when it gets filed. And then what happens? Do I just send them a check? In this case, it's for $4,000. Do I just send them a check for $4,000? The answer is no. If you think the quote request is the end, that's not correct. Something else happens. This is that big aha moment. If you're watching this and you're like, what happens? I don't know. We've got to wait. We've got to wait for picture to lock. Just like working in your DAW and editing a song, editing a record, changes happen on the fly. Same thing for editors. Stuff gets removed from the project. It hits the cutting room floor, as they call it. Creative decisions happen on the fly where songs can change creative. They can decide, you know what, let's try something way out of left field here. Jody, can you get me ideas for songs like this, this, and this? Once picture locks, okay, a letter of confirmation and a license request is sent. And we say, good news, it's time to license your song. Send us a license. This again is a professional. They send us their license and they send us their invoice. Production receives the license, they sign it, they send it back along with payment, and the job is done. And that song is cleared and secure and it's locked to picture. That's the process. Now, one thing I want to point out, I said multiple times when explaining that process, is that professionals, music supervisor professionals, like working with other professionals. It's super key here. It's crucial. It's super important. If I were to send you a quote request right now, would you understand everything in there and be able to fill that out and get it back to me within 24 hours? If you're questioning that, if your answer is, I'm not sure, maybe, yeah, possibly, or no, then that means you need the education. You need to educate yourself to get to that next level. You need a community of people around you that are active professionals in this business. You can do this from anywhere. This is why we created Elite Music Coaching. This is why we have our Sync Titan community and our full framework of music licensing gold standard program, Sync Placement Academy. It's to help you achieve this. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But that is the process. Hopefully this was helpful and eye-opening. Remember, picture has to lock. Things move all the time. That's why you pitch your music and you move on. Pitch your music and move on. Do not wait to hear back. Things move pretty fast in this business and you've got to keep up. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. Cheers. If you're interested in getting your songs into your favorite TV shows, films, commercials, trailers, and video games, you're going to want to check out the free guide below.